Welcome to day 2. Today we are going to tap into our healer intuition. So, if you're just joining today for the first time, my name is Sarah Small, founder of Autoimmune Tribe, here to help you guys have massive freaking breakthroughs. So, today I want to begin by answering any questions that you might have on day 1. I can always come back to them at the end as well. So pop any questions from day 1 below. It's been amazing to see your 10 affirmations. And I'm going to share my sacred space picture with you guys in the Facebook group and ask you guys to also share your sacred space as well. And let me know how that golden healing light meditation went for you. This is part of my healing that we're going to talk about today that most kind of convinced me that I needed to stop thinking logically all the time and just start tapping into my intuition. And now I coach from a place of intuition. My entire business is focused around my intuitive abilities and tapping into my clients' intuition and their energy body. I just finished 3 clients before this call and intuitively use that process the whole time to help them awaken. See the signs and signals their body is sending them. So we can use this in so many ways. And in my program, 21 Days of Healing, we'll be using our intuition in easy, subtle ways. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about yet, this is going to be an opportunity for you to learn. So we're going to start by planting some seeds today. We're going to do a couple exercises. We're going to get out of our chairs and move around a bit. And I want to start by explaining what is intuition in case anyone's here, if anyone's going, what the heck are you talking about, Sarah? So intuition, I think, comes and we feel it a little bit different in each of our bodies, but it's powerful and potent and it exists within all of us. My intuition is my deep inner knowing. It is an instinct. It is a feeling versus a conscious reasoning. So it's the butterflies, the tingles, that rumble in your belly, that gut instinct, and it can show up through feeling, through physical sensation, through taste, smell, audible sounds, through just a clear knowing within you. These are called your clair senses, and I dive into those in my other program, Intuitive Soul School. So I want you to just tell me, how does your intuition present itself? How have you felt intuitive in your life? What intuitive decisions have you made? And I want to share a couple with you of mine as well. Some examples of this is when you just know someone's lying. Have you guys ever felt that way before? You're like, I know this person is flat out lying to me. I don't necessarily can explain why, but there's this knowing within you that that person is lying. You can also see when someone's covering up the way that they really feel with kind of a fake emotion. So you probably don't like fake people and you don't have fake friends because you can feel that out so well and you just don't have necessarily a tolerance for it. You're like, I don't want to be around fake people. So you can see when someone's covering something up. For example, someone might say they're totally fine and put a smile on their face, but underneath you're like, something happened. Something's going on underneath there. Doesn't mean you have to always call them out on it, but you feel it. And another example of your intuition coming up is when your gut instinct kind of gives you that signal to do something, to change something, to take the exit before your normal exit on the highway. Your intuition tells you to go the different way, the longer way to work that day, or it doesn't always have to be scary, like don't get on the plane or something. It might just be that when you see a program or an opportunity in front of you, your gut says, go for it, even though your conscious mind is going, oh my God, this is so scary. Your gut says, but do it anyways. So that's your intuition. And your intuition bridges this gap between consciousness, the reasoning part of your brain, and the subconsciousness, the clear knowing part of your brain, your programming. So we're bridging the gap there by allowing the subconsciousness to communicate and be surfaced into a tangible reality within our conscious mind. So the subconscious signals to your gut to make that little feeling, and then your consciousness feels it, and then you're like, oh, maybe I should invest in that program, maybe I should take that exit on the highway. Okay? Does not mean that we always listen or trust our intuition, but certainly we have felt it in some way. Sometimes we get really good and we train ourselves to ignore it, and part of the lesson that I teach in 21 Days of Healing and what I'm emphasizing today is to trust it. So how can this help you? Why does this even matter? Well, in my experience, going with your gut or intuition can really serve you in your healing process. However, sometimes it's even more useful to just take consciousness out of it and let your subconscious, clear knowing part of your brain come out and listen, communicate with that part of you, because that is 95% of your programming is the subconscious versus 5% is your consciousness. And so we think about that and think about that 5% and how small percentage that is in our overall brain, and how limiting that is if we don't utilize our subconscious mind, which is fourth dimensional version of you. So I'm encouraging you all today to leave out the critical thinking that's trying to analyze everything and make everything logical and put it into this linear path that everything's in its bucket and it makes sense, and just let that go for a second. And that's challenging for a lot of us because we have to let go of some of that structure that has become so comfortable for us over so many years. And instead, we tap into our feminine essence of trust and flow. And there's so many of you who have come to me, Instagram, Facebook, programs, one-on-one clients, and said, oh my God, I'm finally realizing that my masculine and feminine energy are imbalanced, and I've been operating from this masculine place my whole life, which is a lot of the women out there today. And they're like, oh, I need to heal this wounded feminine energy. And part of healing that wounded feminine energy is, first of all, you don't need to blame yourself or feel guilty or judgment around it, but instead, let's let go of a little bit of control and start to flow with the river and trust our body. Your body is for you. It's working for you every single day. What happens when you sleep? Your body performs maintenance. Your metabolism breaks down fat. You grow and there's cell growth during sleep. Like, you are healing during sleep because your body is working for you, not against you. Therefore, it's very wise, much more wise than our consciousness, our human brain that tries to analyze and make everything make sense. That's the 5%. The 95% is what we're going to tap in today through muscle testing. And this opens up a whole new universe to you that can be so helpful in making choices, decisions, second opinion, guidance in your healing path. So a lot of you have done this. If you've joined me in 21 days, I typically always include a little bit of muscle testing in muscle testing prompts in my programs because it is that powerful. We can do it in multiple ways. I'm going to show you one way today. So I like to teach the standing muscle test as a basic beginning way because I personally feel it strongest in my body that way. So remember yesterday how I talked about believing that you have healing power. Today I'm going to ask you to really, really trust me in that. Trust this part of you. It doesn't even have to be about me. It's about you, and trusting that healing power of your body and how innately we were designed to heal ourselves. A fever is not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. It's heating up, warming the internal temperature of your body so that pathogens no longer see it as an environment that they want to stay and they want to live. Bye pathogens, and then you feel better again, right? So all of these things our body is doing are supporting us. So we're going to start by clearing our energy before I walk you through this step by step. There's a lot of ways to clear your energy. This is one. And I'm going to suggest that you tap on your thymus gland. So that is that kind of hard plate. So you feel your chest, and we're trying to find that kind of hard plate type area right above the breast, kind of in the center of your chest. Okay, so my thymus right here underneath my breastbone. And this is part of our immune system as well. And we're just going to tap on it. Okay, so you might even be able to hear that. It's a pretty hard spot of your chest. And some of you might feel a little tender here. That's normal. It's actually a sign that something needs to be broken down and released. Maybe you're feeling a little constricted in your life. So we're tapping, tapping, tapping. And taking a couple deep breaths. Asking that our energy be cleared. We allow ourselves to feel into a neutral energy that is open to receive the messages of our subconscious today. Okay? And you only have to do that 7 to 10 times. I like to do it kind of until I feel a little more grounded in my body as well. Okay? All right, now we're going to ground our feet on the ground. I'm going to stand up and show this to you. This is the standing muscle test. Full on in the sweats today. So feet about hip width apart, and just let your arms rest by your sides. So again, this is called the standing muscle test. You're going to stand up tall, relaxing the hands. You can get a little soft in your knees even. So especially I hyperextend, lock out my knees, put a little bend in them. So a pull or a push forward towards you guys today is a yes or a true. And a backwards movement is a no or a false. So it can be drastic where you feel like I gotta catch myself, and it might just be like teeny tiny movement. It can also manifest slightly different for us. Some people show up opposite. Other people might get more of like this movement forward to the front, to the right, or they might get it backward to the left. So it's gonna show up possibly different in your body, and that's okay as well. So what I want to do is show you how to test yourself and make sure this is working for you. Hands down, feet grounded, knees bent, soft, relaxed. You are just pliable energy today. And then you're going to say a statement that you know to be true. For example, my name is Sarah. And so my body moves forward, and that is that true, that yes. And that movement forward makes sense because it's like a magnet. It's like, yep, true, positive energy of the magnet attached. The no is kind of that repelling energy that we also see when we're around people who feel good or bad. It's like the people we feel good around, we're like, yeah, I love you, we're all up here. And the creepy guy, you're like, no, thank you, okay? So you can also test a negative that you know to be false. So I'll use my fiance, for example, and say my name is Andrew, and my body moves backwards. So this also, I suggest you do in a place you feel very safe, very comfortable, and you become very open-minded to it if you haven't already tried it. So you can test on anything. I'll give you some ideas on what you might want to test on today. So you might want to test on inflammatory foods or food allergies, food sensitivities. So you could declare or ask a true or false or yes or no question. For example, the statement, blank creates inflammation in my body. Blackberries, which I love, and I just got to reintroduce into my diet because they're high oxalate, and I'm starting to introduce the oxalates back in. I would say blackberries are create inflammation in my body, or an inflammatory food for me. and I would either see the movement forward or back. I should actually try that one because I just reintroduced them. You can also do this even holding a supplement bottle. I don't have any supplements at my desk, but say this crystal was a vitamin D, okay? I could hold the crystal against my chest and I could see if my body moved into it, saying it was supportive, yes, vitamin D, or my body moved away of it, like, whoa, no, we don't need that. That's not supporting you. You can also use this in a more of an emotional way. And you could fill in the blank here and say, is blank part of your body? Is my ear? Let's use a more realistic example. Is my left shoulder holding on to stress? Is there stress manifesting within my left shoulder? And you would see that feeling, that movement, yes, forward, no, back. You can also ask questions that get a little bit more specific, like, is the inflammation in my left shoulder because of emotional trauma? Yes or no? Maybe you got no, okay. Is it because of a physical trauma? Yes, okay. At what age did I experience this physical trauma? Age 10 to 20? No. 5 to 10? Yes. Okay, let's narrow it down. Age 6. Yes. Okay, age 6, physical trauma. My left shoulder is holding this inflammation or this pain because of this trauma at 6 years old. So it's a very useful tool to narrow down what the root cause of some of these symptoms you're experiencing, whether it's inflammation or whether that be physical inflammation or inflammatory inflammation of your thoughts and your beliefs. So your homework today is to try this. Get really brave, really, really brave. If this induces anxiety, you're like, oh my God, this feels witchy. That's okay. I want you to, if you need to convince your mind a little bit, look up applied kinesiology and do a little research, okay? This gets used in doctors' offices across the world, and it is something my clients use all the time, as well as I use on them to help them find the most clear, supportive, and aligned path to healing. So I want you to try at least one testing, like, does this work in my body question, like, my name is, and my name is not. And then I want you to try at least one of either the prompts that I gave you as examples today, or you can create your own question. There's only a couple rules here, which is that you don't want to test too many things in a row or else your body gets a little overwhelmed and confused. Usually you can feel when you're starting to get a little overwhelmed with it. And then you also can only do true or false, yes or no statements. And you also cannot predict the future. So you can't say, am I going to get pregnant in 2 days? Yes, no, okay? So you can't predict the future, but you can ask for guidance. You can ask yes, no, true, false questions that are going to help support you in finding the most aligned path for you, your unique body, using all that 95% of your subconscious that we rarely tap into in our healing. So go give it a try. If you already do this in your life and your healing journey and in the protocol, the process you go through, let me know. Let me know all the ways that you've used it in your own life, and so we can support each other and inspire people who are brand new to it to give it a try. And as a reminder, the cart is closing in 7 days. In 1 week, the cart closes for 21 days of healing. So I would be so honored for you guys to join me and participate in this 5th round of 21 days. I'll be posting some testimonials as well throughout the next week, just to show you guys how much transformation people get from these 21 days. It's simple, it's short, but it's impactful. Every day I go live for those 21 days, giving lessons like today's muscle testing, but we go deeper and I support you not on one-on-one calls, but one-on-one support through the group. And this allows you to say, hey, Sarah, I'm stuck here, or this doesn't make sense, or this is what's really bothering me. Can you address this sometime during the 21 days? Yes, yes, yes. I am there to support you. I am there to hold this sacred container for you to find the things that that are most impactful, potent, and powerful for you and your unique healing. So again, I'd be so honored for you to join me. If you're needing something to change and shift in your life, girl, this is it. Come inside. It's filling up fast. We're about half full now, and I'm sure the other half will come in right around the end like they always do. So I'll drop the link below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 3 of Empower Your Inner Healer.